This is Dr. Bill Corter, and for today's presentation, I would like to ask one question. Are you really aware of GMOs, and specifically aware of what they do? Now, GMOs stand for genetically modified organisms. For us, what counts is they stand for genetically modified food. Currently in the United States, there are 9 crops that are patented and genetically modified that you can end up buying at your grocery store. The 2 that are most significant for us probably are corn and soy. Now, why am I going to address this topic? 2 fundamental reasons. Number 1, 64 countries around the world have demanded labeling of GMO products. Why? Because of health concerns. What's one of the major countries in the world, the few major countries in the world that has not demanded labeling of GMOs? It's us, the United States. The problem is over 50% of Americans, if you drew their blood right now, would come back positive for GMOs. All of us now have GMOs in our bloodstream. Not all, but a lot of us do. And that has negative health disadvantages for many of us. It's a difficult topic because we have so much weight moving against us. The Congress recently passed a bill calling GMOs natural. That bill is now moving to the Senate. We may very well be stuck with not only one of the few countries that doesn't label GMOs, but believes them to be natural and safe. So let me pause and try to explain how GMOs work, and then let you be the judge. In terms of GMOs, let's take corn. They have genetically modified corn so that it is protected against Roundup. Roundup is a cousin of Agent Orange. It is one of the most toxic herbicides in existence, but it is very effective at killing bugs. And so it's actually very effective at killing crops, and that's the problem with it. What they've been able to do is genetically modify corn so it can withstand layer after layer after layer, spray after spray after spray of Roundup. So all the bugs in the cornfield are killed, the corn keeps growing. There's a second problem, and you should be aware of it. They've genetically engineered the corn so every kernel of corn has its own gene within it that produces a pesticide. So what happens when you get that lone bug, that some miracle escapes the Roundup? Some miracle escapes the herbicides that have been sprayed across the field, and it comes up the stalk and bites into the kernel of corn. When that corn is ingested, it releases pesticide in the stomach of the bug. The bug dies like that. So the question arises, what happens when an animal eats the corn? Because corn are fed to cattle. What happens when a human eats that corn? You go out and you get yourself a piece of corn and you're munching through it. What happens to your health? Well, now the big industrial agricultural companies would tell you it's perfectly safe. What happens to the animal and to the human is very different than what happens in the stomach of a bug. Many scientists disagree, many physicians disagree. The studies have been hard to obtain. At every single venture, it's blocked by these big agricultural companies. But they have done a number of good studies on animals, and they're not good. They're bad. The health of the animals is really ruined. They have also done some studies on humans. Now, a lot of these are contested, especially by the agricultural companies that don't believe the studies were done correctly. But some of these studies allegedly show that by eating GMOs, you're increasing your risk of cancer. You're increasing your risk of heart disease. You're increasing your risk of kidney problems. You're increasing your risk of diabetes. You're increasing your risk of dementia. You're increasing a whole series of physical ailments. At the same time, flip the coin. There are good scientists and good physicians who believe that the ingestion of GMOs into your diet, into your bloodstream, increases your chances of a severe anxiety, increases the prevalence of depression. There are also some experts who believe that it is impacting the increasing explosion rate of autism, of ADHD, of developmental disorders. Now, of course, the agricultural companies claim that's all false. So at this point, the debate is going to continue. At this point, we probably have another 5-10 years before we get the full answers. But until then, I'm not taking the chance, and I recommend you don't take the chance either. So when you buy a crop that you know is genetically engineered, and you can ask the grocer if it's genetically engineered, and they'll be honest and tell you, yeah, that is a crop that is genetically engineered, don't buy a natural product. Make sure it's organic. Make sure it's grown by a local farmer. And that's especially true for corn and soy. If you do that, you're protecting yourself and you're protecting your child. You're protecting your whole family. So for the habit that I would like to recommend today would be to spend a little more money on your food choice. Spend a little more money for organic food, especially if it's a genetically engineered organic food. Don't do that. Move to the organic. Give yourself a chance for better health. I promise you that I think it will lead you to better health. And my own guess is we're going to find very negative consequences with the current GMOs. Thank you for listening. Thank you for giving it some consideration. I hope you continue to listen. I hope we continue to kind of work together to improve each other's health. Subscribe if you want to have more information, absolutely free. But we're on a journey for better health. Hope you come with us. Thank you.